السلام عليكم. هذا الفيديو مخصص لطلبة اللغة الإنجليزية المقبلين على التخرج ومناقشة مذكراتهم. نقدم لكم تجميعة مقترحة لبعض من الأسئلة المحتملة ورودها، وذلك من أجل التحضير الجيد والمسبق للدفاع عن المذكرة. بعض من الأسئلة المحتملة، وليس بالضرورة أن تأتي بهذه الصيغة. In few sentences, can you tell us what your study is all about? To answer this question, you need to know every detail in your research. If you wrote a good abstract, that abstract will be your answer. What is your motivation for this study? This question is a tricky question. It goes a long way in convincing your jury members that your study is worth their time. To answer this question, you may give full information about your investigated problem. Your enthusiasm to solve this problem becomes your motivation. Do not state financial reasons or the need to graduate as a motivation. Did you bridge any gap from your study? You must be able to convince the committee members that your approach is unique and it has covered areas where much have not been done by the others' researchers. Why you choose this title? Simply present your rationale. What is the significance of your study? State the importance of your study. Highlight how your study will help other students who may wish to conduct researches on the subject matter, and how organizations and the society will benefit from your study. What limitations did you encounter? This is to criticize your work. To answer this question, you must be careful with words, as you may implicate yourself. Do not discuss limitations in your methods or data analysis techniques, as this may imply that your study may be biased or not well researched. Use simple limitations like difficulties encountered in combining lectures and project instead of limiting your study. What is the scope of the study? State or describe the limits of your study in brief. Why chooses this method? You should justify why you chose the method in a convincing manner. What methods or sampling technique did you employ? You must be familiar with your research methodology. Your ability to justify your sample size and technique will be highly rewarded here. What is your measurement instrument? What data collection method did you employ for the study? Here you state if questionnaires were distributed or data was gotten from secondary sources. What theoretical or conceptual frameworks are your study based on? Theoretical frameworks are a single form of theory. When a study is designed around a theoretical framework, the theory is a primary means in which the research problem is understood and investigated. Although theoretical frameworks tend to be used in quantitative studies, conceptual frameworks are more formal theories as well as other concepts in empirical findings from the literature. It is used to show relationships among these ideas and how they relate to research study. Conceptual frameworks are commonly seen in qualitative research in the social and behavioral sciences, for example, because often one theory cannot fully and address the phenomenon being studied or the problem. What are your research variables? Convince your jury members that you know what you are talking about. You need to explain your independent and dependent variables to convince them that you are on point. Your variables are present in your project topic. You need to identify these variables and know their definitions as well as to ace your defense. Can you describe your main findings in a few sentences? Or what are your findings? At this point, it is expected of you to present your results or findings from the study in a clear and concise manner. Always link your findings to your research objectives or questions. How would you relate your findings to existing theories on the study? You should know existing theories on the subject matter as well as empirical studies too. Your ability to link your findings to previous studies, whether they agree or not, will go a long way in validating your study. How will this study contribute to the body of knowledge? Here you will need to use your method, case study, or any unique model for or conceptual framework used in the study to defend it and as justification. What are the empirical, practical, or theoretical implications of your findings? Applications simply represent one of the most significant parts of research paper. It is where you get to discuss your results and the entirety of all that it stands for. It is expected that you address your results, conclusions, and the outcome and future expectations, research implications to the logical connection between a condition and its outcome. Other questions: are your theories supporting your results, and how? Why did you use thematic analysis, qualitative content analysis بالنسبة discourse analysis? Why did you use the software ANGLAIS SPSS? What are your recommendations based on your findings? How did you analyze your data? Why did you use the research methodology? What did you gain from it? What is the research problem? What phenomenon are you trying to explain or to understand? What is the theoretical and practical gap? Is your literature current? What method or strategy did you use for your analysis or technique for coding, analyzing and presenting data? What are the expected relationship between the independent variables and the dependent variables? Why do you expect these relationships? What sampling techniques are you going to use? Why and how are you going to choose the sample from the population? What are your dependent variables? What are your independent variables? بالتوفيق والنجاح إن شاء الله للجميع.